I'm here with Eric Dodds at Blizzard's Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm event, and we're talking about the new expansion, the new Hearthstone expansion. And Eric, actually, I do play Hearthstone, but not like our global EIC Tim Clark. And I asked him, do you have any questions about the new expansion? And he sent me a Google Doc that is massive. So I'm literally going to read from Tim Clark's questions. He asks, is it correct that unlike, this is almost like a quiz show now, the Curse of Rammus adventure, the first wing of Blackrock Mountain won't be free, and what's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So with Blackrock Mountain, it's a little bit different from Rammus. With Rammus, nobody really knew what an adventure was. They hadn't seen an adventure before. And so we really wanted to make sure that everybody got to sort of step in the door and see what it was before they paid for something that they didn't know what it was. Whereas we have Blackrock Mountain as our second adventure. It's something that people pretty much know what they are now because we've had that first adventure for Rammus, because people did step in the door like that. And that's why the pricing was set like that for Rammus.
All right, second Tim Clark question. And that makes a lot of sense. He also wants to ask about something from the last expansion, Goblins versus Gnomes, and how it expanded the Mech tribe, and he's curious to know if you're comfortable with the balance of those cards. And Tim says Mech Mage feels like a pretty oppressive force.
Mech Mage is pretty powerful, but it turns out that the metagame is actually in a really good place right now. We're actually still seeing new powerful decks come in, every week or so. So the metagame is still changing, and while Mech Mage is out there, there's 3 or 4 really strong decks that are played at the highest level, and there's actually probably another 5 or 6 decks that are almost played at that tier, and I actually expect any week one of those decks to flip into the top spot. I mean, there's actually was a relatively recent deck, the new Rogue deck, that's sort of taken a power spot. So the metagame is actually constantly shifting and changing, and while Mech Mage is strong right now, I expect there to continue to be a shifting and changing of the powerful decks in Hearthstone. Okay,
and I know this is something that another question about balance, something that is dear to Tim's heart. He asks if what your view is on Dr. Boom and the ubiquity of Dr. Boom, and everyone's playing Dr. Boom, and a lot of people talk about the fact or the idea that it needs to be nerfed. What do you think about that?
We actually don't have any plans right now to change Dr. Boom, and we're not looking at it. One of the things that's interesting about Dr. Boom is it's a very powerful 7-drop card, and there wasn't all that many cards that had a lot of strength in that area, so a lot of people have definitely shifted to using it, but even all of the top decks still are not even using Dr. Boom. So Dr. Boom is a very powerful card, no doubt about it, but we certainly don't have plans to change it, and you certainly don't see it in every deck, even though you certainly see it in a decent number of decks right now.
We will continue to perform medical booming then. And Tim also asks, what steps have been taken to avoid the day one rush on servers this time around for the new expansion, which, of course, last time Curse of Rammus locked some people out because it was such an influx of people?
Sure. Well, there's a couple of things going on. I mean, one of the things is it's always it's a little bit better with adventures because we space it out over weeks, but there certainly were a few problems with our purchasing things in Rammus when it first came out, and we've actually been doing a lot of work underneath the hood to overhaul that system. So we think it'll be much better this time.
So another thing we're excited about, by which I mean Tim's very excited about, is the new Dragon Synergy stuff. And he wants to know, we want to know, of the 31 cards, can you give a sense of what proportion have a dragon-based effect?
That is an excellent question, and it's not one off the top of my head I know the answer to. All I can say is that there are going to be enough cards in this that you'll definitely be able to build decks that sort of have that strong theme. So while we've shown the Blackwing Technician, there's definitely a number of others that will be supporting that theme as well. So there will be enough cards to support that, you building a dragon-based deck. The percentage, I probably should know the answer to that question, and I really don't. So I'm sorry I don't have the answer to that for you.
Well, Tim will be very sad. He'll also probably be sad I didn't ask the other 25 questions that he sent me. But we should get to this laptop, which, sorry I didn't mention it, but we're going to give this away to a reader, and we're just having everyone sign it, if you don't mind
awesome.
putting your John Hancock on there.
You want to sign it?
Wherever you want. It's
Okay, I'll try to sign it without dropping it. That will be my goal.
thank you so much for chatting with us, and I'm sure we'll be finding out more soon, and I'm sure Tim will have more questions for you through a proxy or otherwise.
It's great talking with you.